Hello and welcome to Nanapod, a podcast dedicated to the fantastic manga written by A. Yazawa. I'm Crystal, and I'm joined by my best girl Kirsten as we dissect this manga, discussing everything from the emotions, the cultural impact, as well as any headcanons that might be floating around in our brains. With this podcast, we hope to preserve a shoujo staple that sadly hasn't been talked about in a very long time. So come with us. We're waiting for you in apartment 707.
Anyway, Nana, volume 6, chapter 20?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can start this one, because I said I started last time. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's get into it. It starts out with just like the classic still of the table near the window, and like the sun is coming through, so it's like really bright.
Mm-hmm.
And we have thought boxes or narration bubbles. I don't know.
No, I like thought boxes.
Boxes.
Yeah.
This is the reflective storytelling.
Yes.
During Nana's 2-week absence, I worked and worked without stopping to forget my loneliness. I worked each day until exhaustion. Despite everything, I also regularly went to the studio. And every night, Nobu walked me home. Takumi hasn't called me. A trip would be good, says Ren. So we're not like in the thought box brain anymore.
Mm-mm.
And so now we see Ren smoking a cigarette, and he says a trip would be good. What's more, I have time. And so it's him and Nana, and I think they're having like breakfast. They're eating together.
Yeah.
We don't know the meal. I don't see coffee cups. So, oh no, there's coffee cups. Okay, it might be breakfast. So Nana says, "Oh, great idea. Don't forget to bring back a present for me." And so Ren just has like all the dots above his head. There's a slam sound because Nana like puts her hand on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Gochi Susama?" And it says it's a phrase that's usually said after a meal. I meant to ask Finn how to say it, but I forgot.
Right. Son, help.
Right. And so Ren says, "Where do you want to go?" With a little heart, and he's like tugging on her hair. It's really cute, actually.
I know. He's like pulling the top of her hair. My goodness.
I know. He looks like a little boy there. It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Go by yourself. You may have time, but I'm really busy."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "You should ask for days off." And she's like, "I'm not talking about my job. I'm talking about daily practices. That concert is really important to us."
Yeah.
And so then it pans into her birth control little cartridge. Does birth control even come in those funny little cartridges anymore that look like candy dispensers?
Candy dispenser? You know, I don't know because I have an IUD now, so I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I kind of like
so,
mine though.
She like pops one out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "What? Now you're taking the pill again? Whose fault is it if you want a kid? Ask someone else to make one for you." Because Ren really wants babies.
He does. And I mean...
And honestly, living her life.
Yeah.
They're young, though, too.
I know. I'm just like, Ren.
I mean, I can't talk because I had a child very young, but...
Yeah, but you guys, like, had a conversation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But, like, you know, I don't know. It's like one of those things. She's not ready. It's just a matter of if you're ready or not, or if you want to or not. Like, that's it. That's the whole thing, and that's the whole conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then Ren has a frowny face and has little dots above his head. And he says, "You wouldn't be mad if I slept with another woman? You're a really cold woman."
Aw.
Well, you know, like, there's some jest in that.
Yeah.
There is some jest in that.
Mm-hmm.
Calling her cold? Yeah, there's some jest in it.
A little bit.
And Nana is like, "You're only realizing it now?"
You're right.
And Ren just, like, smiles at her and then turns around to walk away. And he's like, "All right, I should write a song." And Nana's like, "For the pretty Rira?"
Did she say that or does he
Oh no,
say
he
that?
says that.
Okay, because yeah, in mine he's like,
No, he says it.
yeah.
I got mixed up because there's like a little black thing under the thought bubble, and it like threw
Hmm.
off. Yeah, where I was looking at where it's pointing. Ren says that he's writing a song for Rira,
Oh,
and Nana is pissed.
oh yeah. In mine it's worse because he's like, I gotta write a song for my lovely Rira. I'm like, don't say it like that.
Oh
Like,
my.
that's like, no, that's
Yeah, he
mean.
just says for the pretty Rira in mine.
It's still kind of a dick thing to say.
Oh, that's a dick thing to say. But
Yeah,
he's trying to get out. He's trying to rub. This is like it's their thing.
I know he's ribbing her, but like he can't not know that Rira.
He knows that's why he said it.
It's not nice. I don't like it.
That's why he said it. That's why he said it.
Don't
And then
like
we
it.
have a scene switch.
We do. Now, dear listeners, do you remember a few?
Please take a seat. Please go and fill your water and take a seat. Get cozy.
Get
And,
cozy.
just relax. Big deep breaths.
Big deep breaths. Building Kirsten's really building this up. Okay. You remember a few episodes ago when I mentioned that like put a pin in Shin going to the icebox and he got this what is it? It's like sparkling water, right?
Yeah.
And he cut it's either a lemon or a lime. It's one of the two. And then he squeezed it into the glass and then he poured the water in it. And I was like, put a pin in that because we're going to see this again. It's finally here.
It's
Here
here.
we are.
Here we are. Full circle.
And yes, and I have a theory because the woman we're about to see, so we see like, like she's slicing the fruit and then she's pouring the sparkle bits. And then she puts, she's squeezing the fruit in there and then she's mixing it all together. And then we see Shin standing behind this woman who looks suspiciously like Rira.
Suspiciously. And I'm also really upset that we don't know if it was a lemon or a lime.
Oh, really? What? Wait,
yeah.
why?
It's really bothering me.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm going to say a lime because it looks kind of small.
Yeah, and the coloring's a little bit darker than a lemon. Yep. So yeah, we're going to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just there in a bathrobe, just kind of leaning against the wall, and she's like swish, 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 stirring the things. And then this woman, who looks suspiciously like Rira, turns around and she's like, "Oh, morning, Shin. You're up." And he smiles at her and he says, "Good morning, Ryoko." And then there's Ryoko, who looks just like Rira.
Except older. She's older.
A little older.
Yeah.
A little older.
She got older lady eyebrows. What?
I don't know. In my head, I'm just like, oh man, we should make this like a thing. It's just like when you and I like maybe slightly older, we can be like, do we have older lady eyebrows now?
Well, I think that they become older lady eyebrows not because of like aging, but because of how eyebrow shapes change.
Mm-hmm.
And some people get really locked into their eyebrows.
Does
that make sense?
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like she's got like 90s eyebrows, like early 90s eyebrows.
Oh yeah, it's because we drew them like little kind of thin back then.
So this would be 10 years later, right? And so like,
oh yeah,
older lady eyebrows.
Right.
That's my logic.
Things.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if when I'm 60 I'm still gonna be shaving half my eyebrows off, but I might be.
It might be. True.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty locked into the way I look.
It's fair.
I'm a cartoon character. Anyway, sorry.
It's okay. That's totally fine. Everyone
She has
can believe.
older lady eyebrows.
She has older lady eyebrows. So she's like, "Oh, heart, morning, Shin. You're up." And he smiles. He's like, "Yep, good morning, Ryoko." Already said that. So now they're sitting at the table together. And she says, "I have a plane to catch tomorrow to the US, so I won't see you for a while. But you can look forward to all the souvenirs I'll be bringing back for you." And he says, "Aw, I'll be so lonely without you, Ryoko." And she says, "Wow, heart, are you adding the art of sweet talking to your resume? Is that the result of my teachings? So
Oh my God, that's not. Oh, no, no.
Mm.
Okay. Mine, she says here. And then she says, I see that you haven't only improved in technique, you also speak better now. Would it be
Mm.
my education?
Oh, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
That's more like a speaking the Japanese, I think, more so than
Proper, yeah.
hmm
And also flirting techniques.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is Shin's like madam, I guess.
Boss lady?
Yeah, in a
Groomer.
way. Yeah, that's really what it is, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not okay.
I
It's not
didn't
okay.
want it, but it is.
No, but it's true though. I was even thinking that when I was reading. I was like, oh, this is
Mm-hmm. Yep.
just not great.
Unsavory.
Unsavory, yes. So he's drinking his drink thing. He's like, I appreciate it. Thanks to you, I'm doing great. And she's like, hee hee. She's laughing. And then there's like a clunk and he's got the dots and he's just looking at her. And she says, I turned an angel into a devil. And then Shin's all like sparkle, like all like sparkles behind him. And he's like, when I look at you now, you don't look much like her. Talking about Rira. Like, because she looks like
Oh,
Rira.
okay. Okay. So mine, it says from this angle, she doesn't remember that much. Oh, it's supposed to be resemble. Okay.
Okay, I was
Okay.
like,
So yeah, from this
what?
angle, she doesn't resemble her that much.
Mm-hmm.
There's extra like letters. It says resember.
Resember? Like, I mean, I can see that too because he's also spent the night with Rira now. And
But like actually gotten to know her. Like
yeah,
up
yeah.
close, not from the
Mm-hmm.
distance, not from like posters and stuff, right?
Right, exactly. And she's like, huh? What? And he's like, oh, nothing. Seconds, please, heart. And he looks like a literal child sitting across the table
Mm-hmm.
from the sofa
Yeah.
woman. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not comfortable.
No. Because
No.
she has older lady eyebrows.
It's true. It's
I
true.
mean, they're cigarette mom eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. That's facts. But also, so like the thing about the drink before, because there is like a scene switch here, like the thing about like making that specific drink, it's
She's
like,
grooming him.
yeah, it's like, oh, she taught you that. It's like in your, it's like in your, oh goodness, like your muscle memory now. Like,
Yep.
oh, I'm gonna go do this thing. I want to feel refreshed, so I'm gonna go get like
He
a
mimics.
lime.
He mimics what
Yeah.
he's being taught. He's being shown,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. So that was a thing. I've waited a
I've
few
waited
have waited for this pin drop.
forever.
I have because I had to put it in. I was like, this is gonna come up later, and we're gonna see the person who taught him how to do this.
Right. Right.
So here
Oh
she
man.
is with her old lady eyebrows.
No, not old lady. Older lady.
Older lady.
She's an
Okay.
older lady.
Older lady eyebrows.
Yeah. She's the cigarette mom.
She's a cigarette mom grooming person.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Older lady eyebrows. Okay. So we have a scene change. We see the city. And then we
Mhm.
have Yasu.
Yeah.
And Yasu's sitting at a bar, being super cool. Uh, and then, why can't I remember his name right now? Oh my god.
Naoki. It's Naoki.
It's Naoki. He's always forgotten
He is even
by everyone. I don't feel that.
Oh, he's genuinely sweet.
No, he is genuinely sweet, but he's just the drummer.
He's just a drummer. He's loud and dumb and sweet.
Yeah. I mean, he's in the puppy brigade for sure.
Oh yeah. What kind of puppy? He's not.
I feel like he'd be like a Pomeranian.
Really? Pomeranians are mean though. I mean, they can be.
Not when they're socialized.
That's true.
Maybe a Papillon.
Maybe or a terrier. He seems kind
No,
of
but like the hair with the ears with the poofiness.
True. I'm just thinking of terriers because of all the energy. He's just like,
oh yeah.
And
is there
they
like
love
a
to be
fluffy
loved.
terrier that's like soft?
Maybe it's mixed with like a chow.
Oh good. Oh no.
There's an image for you.
That's frightening.
Oh no.
Chows are like super territorial.
Well, you know.
But yeah, I think like in the small fluffy category, he's in a small dog fluffy category, and a very socialized one at that. You know when they get really excited? You know, have you ever seen like a really excited little dog that's all fluffy and just bounces around because it's so excited?
Oh yeah. He's that.
He's
for
that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not like Takumi the War Boodle or or Nobu the Golden Retriever or even Hachi, who's just
Hachi is just Hachi. I feel like Hachi is just she's just Hachi. She doesn't really have like a dog breed. She's just like the general dog.
Oh my god, I saw the dog statue the other day on Instagram because one of the people I follow, Sugar Bones, she's in Japan right now. So she was like, here's the Hachiko dog statue, and I was like, oh my god,
I need to look it up. I've never looked it up. I don't know why.
You know, it's a dog. There it is.
Hachiku dog statue. I want to know what kind of dog it is. Because that dog is the kind of dog. It's an Akita. I thought it might be Akita or the other one that looks like a little fox. But
yeah. They're so cute.
But I feel like Hachi's more of the one that's like the little fox, not so much the Akita. But like,
yeah,
she's a puppy Akita.
Mm-hmm.
That's better because she's definitely a puppy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Nyoki yells Yasu, and Yasu like he actually kind of smiles.
He does.
Yeah, he's got a little smirk.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually like looks towards him and acknowledges his existence.
Right. He's a puppy.
Oh man. And then there's laughing. And he's like, it's been ages. You really haven't changed a bit. Your head's always as shiny. And he rubs his head. I feel like they rub his head for luck. I don't know.
Yeah, like Buddha.
Like Buddha. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so he's like moving his face all crazy. So we got a double face Naoki, just like Hachi does, by the way. And he's like, hey, a beer to the server. And so then he's like, so how are you? I'm really happy to finally be able to see you again. I feel like he's just like talking so fast.
Yeah.
And Yasu's like, it's normal.
Oh yeah.
You've been pressuring me. Stop calling me every day. And he's like, I asked Rira to come with me, but I heard she went back home. I was disappointed. It says, is he disappointed? But I think it's I was disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, so sad. Did she?
Did she?
I feel like Rira really likes him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so Yasu's like, oh yeah, and he's got like his little nervous eyebrows, which you can only kind of see through like his sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me, Naoki, you're speaking really loud here. You're a celebrity. I remind you, be more discreet. Never.
Never. Mm-mm.
Never.
You can't do it.
Right? And he's like, don't worry. They're only show business people here. And Yasu's like, oh? Another reason to stay discreet, right?
No, never.
By the way, Yasu, I heard that you came to Tokyo to play pro. Rira was complaining. She wasn't convinced. And Yasu's like, that's what I thought. Oh no, he's like, who's saying that? That's what I thought. That's why I don't want to see her. Oh, she'll bug me again. It was Yasu saying that. And Yuki says, and it'll be justified. But what made you change your mind?
Nana.
It was Nana.
It was Nana. He's not going to tell him that, though.
You're not going to tell him. You're not going to tell him the truth.
Mm-mm.
So Yasu's like, oh, let's just say that it's the fatherly feeling I have for my band. Randomly. It's not a lie.
No, it isn't.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie at all.
No, it's true.
I mean, it's a thing, right?
Yeah. It is taking care of all the children.
Mm-hmm. And so then Yogi says, "What's this? You're not funny. You really haven't changed. You can take risks, get mad from time to time." And Yasu laughs at him. And Yogi's like, "All right. Not as far as Takumi."
Right.
When he gets mad, he looks crazy, like a war poodle.
Because
Right
he's
now.
a
Because he's a war poodle.
He's a war poodle.
I need a hoodie of that meme. I need a hoodie of that meme so bad.
You gotta put it on your shop.
I do. I need to get to making stuff.
Yep.
Life's been busy. And so he's like, right now, he fakes being calm to take away from gossipers. But in college, there weren't any windows left because of him.
Yeah.
It was so cold.
Oh, I'm glad he said it was so cold because yep, that's better because in mine it's like it was amazing. I'm like, no, it's not. Defacing property's not cool, Naoki.
It was so cold. Yeah, no windows. He smashed out all the windows.
He did. Everyone better bring jackets to college.
Right? So Yasu's like, about Takumi, I can't get him on my cell phone. What's he doing? And Naoki's like, that? I don't know anything. But he must be running from a woman to another.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And Naoki's like, no need to worry. Ha 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 ha. Yasu's like, oh yeah? That's exactly what's worrying me.
Yeah, isn't that why he like asked? It kind of seems like that's why he was asking.
Yeah, that's why he was asking.
Yeah, like where is he? What's he doing?
Mm-hmm.
He's not calling Hachi.
Exactly, but also that assumption that he's just automatically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sure, he has a track record, so that's why it would be assumed, but
Mm-hmm.
scene change, and then we find out.
Yeah, so scene chains. Yeah, here he is. Speaking of Takumi, we see hands, and they've got the Panther cigarettes, and he's lighting a cigarette. So he's like sitting on the beach, just looking out at the water, by himself. No one else around, presumably.
Sitting on a suitcase.
Sitting on a suitcase. Just hanging out, looking, and he's so pretty.
Also thinking,
okay.
I had a little weird headcanon.
Yeah?
Okay, because like the actual translation of his cigarettes that I have in the Japanese version,
Mm-hmm.
the bad word that they translate to,
Yeah,
meaning
the racial slur, yeah.
right? And so then when it's like that derivative of assumption, like stereotype, is like the wayward traveler, like vagabond, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
right. Because he
Yeah,
has issues settling down.
He does.
Yeah.
Clever. No, I can see it. I can see that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, that's a really good point. And yeah, no, that's good. It's probably why she chose those cigarettes.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Right.
There's a little Easter egg.
Mm-hmm. Nothing is accidental. So,
Not in the Yazawa verse.
nope. Mm-mm. So he's looking out of the water, and we could just get shots of him. He's so pretty.
He is really pretty. He is drawn very pretty.
Looking out the ocean, his hair is like blowing in the wind. He's super gorgeous. It's not fair. And then he puts his sunglasses on and he stands up and he goes to get his suitcase and he turns around and Rira's standing behind him under her like really cute little umbrella.
See? Young lady eyebrows.
Yes.
That's really their only difference.
True. And he looks at her and then he just takes his glasses back off and she's like giggling. I think she's giggling. It doesn't say she is, but I feel like she is.
I feel like she's giggling, yeah.
And he's like, Rira, what are you doing here? And she's like, I came home to visit my mom. And he's like, oh, of course. Don't sneak up on me. How long have you been here? And she's like, a half hour. And he's like, what? And then she's all like serious face. And she's like, I was standing here staring at you for like 30 minutes, but you didn't notice me at all, Takumi. You're no fun. And he's like, no, I mean, how long have you been in town? And why didn't you say anything when you saw me? You're creepy. She's just like laughing at expense. She's like, oh, 3 days. I just went to visit mom's grave. And he's like, your mother is still alive. And she's like, no, your mother's grave, which we did not know about Takumi, I don't think, up until this point. His mom's not alive. She dead. And she's like, you couldn't be there for the 7th anniversary of her death because of work. So I asked her to please watch over Takumi, who's been a bad boy, so he doesn't reap divine retribution.
No, she says in mine that work kept me from coming here for the 7 years of her death.
Oh, interesting.
Uh-huh. I asked her to protect her son with all her heart, who only fools around to keep the gods' punishments from and then she gets cut off.
Oh, dang.
Uh-huh.
I like divine retribution.
Because then he says thanks. He like cuts her off. It just says from
Yeah, he says thanks in mine. And she's like, how's your father doing? Should I go visit him? And he's like, why bother? He's been drinking all day as usual. He's a goner. And she's like, your big sis and her husband must have it hard with a brother like you. Sigh. And he's like, why don't you go worry about your own mother instead of scrutinizing my
She's
family?
so dramatic stirring that pot. Like, she loves getting under his skin.
Good. She should do it all the time.
Mm-hmm,
Every time. Because it works. It works too well.
It does. She can get away with it. That's why.
True.
Other people can't.
True. But, I mean, he kind of deserves it, so.
Oh, of course he does. It's just she's the only one he'll tolerate it from.
This is true.
And not break windows.
And not break windows. My goodness. And he's like, you ditched her out here in the boonies. And she says, but she doesn't want to go to Tokyo. She loved this town. He says, I don't get it. What's so great about the country? And I'm like, plenty of things are great about the country, Takumi. But anyway.
He says, what does she like here? It's all grass.
It's all
and at one time, she'd lived in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, didn't she live in New York for a while? Oh, Kirsten would not like this town. It's all grass.
I'm allergic to the grass of the colonizer. That's another one. This grass doesn't belong here. It's the only grass that I'm actually really allergic to.
It's fair. It's fair.
Colonizer grass.
Colonizer grass. No, I know it's not the same thing, but I'm imagining like the grass you put in Easter egg baskets. Colonizer grass. Oh man. Anyway, so Rira's like, yeah, that's why. She really didn't like living overseas. I told her Tokyo's not in another country, but I miss New York because I was born there. And Takumi just kind of looks at her. And he's like, then why don't you go back? We only have 2 more days off. You should have gone there. And she says, well, I had a lot to do, and I have to visit Mom sometimes. The day we played near here on tour, we had too much to do, so I couldn't see her. And she's like, so when did you get here, Takumi? And he said, I work too much when I'm in Tokyo, so I really needed to escape. But I keep thinking about work anyway, so whatever. It's just a short visit. I could have left the country. You can run, but you can't hide. And then he's like walking away. And she's like, hey, where are you going? It's so crazy we ran into each other. Let's hang out. And he says, no way, man. My time off is sacred. Later.
He says, spare me.
Oh, jeez.
Spare me. Leave me alone to myself. At least during my holidays. See ya. He's way more dramatic in mine.
Which is okay. You know what? I like.
I feel like he is. I feel like he is dramatic, and I feel like it's also like kind of sarcastic. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's their banter.
But also, it makes more sense for the face she makes. She's doing the thing where she's sticking her tongue out and she's like pulling one eye down. She's like, you know.
Uh-huh. Yep, exactly.
He turns around because he turned his back when she's making that face, and he's like, Rira, and he turns around and he sees her making that face. And he's just kind of like, oh, God. Why are, the face is like, why are you such a child?
Yep.
And then he's got like the angry like twitch thing, and he's like, we've got a big photo shoot next week, so stay out of the sun. And she's like, aye aye, Captain. All like happy with under her umbrella.
In mine, she says, yes, I know, Leader-san.
I love Rira. I don't care what anyone says.
No, I do too. She's not terrible.
No. She's, well, we get into it like way.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it
later.
later.
But yeah, scene change.
Scene change. We have a drum and it goes bam.
Bam.
Like,
no,
bam.
No whap, like in mine. Wow, mine whap. Mine whap.
Bam. Bam. It's a snare drum. Bam. And then it's Nana, and she looks kind of worried. She's got a little sweat bead. And she says, what could he be doing? Their holiday is ending soon. And she's talking to Hachi. Mm-hmm. And so Hachi says, yes, but I have to say, I haven't tried to contact him either. And sure. Why is that, says Nana. Don't be scared of calling him. You should send him messages every day to remind him that you're here. And Yasu's just playing the drums. Bam, boom, ba-bam, bam. Like... Yeah. I feel like he's trying to drown out their conversation to distract them.
I mean, maybe.
Because it just keeps going. And that's not normal. He knows they're talking. Mm-hmm. Because like, it just keeps going. Yeah. Yeah. So they're having to talk over the drums. And Hachi's like, I don't want to look for him so that he'll ignore me in the end. And so Nana's like, but when he'll start working again, it'll be even harder to talk to him. Hachi says, yes, if that happens, too bad. And so then he hits the cymbals really hard, and Nana turns around and screams Yasu. Now he has him by the shirt and she's yelling at him. Don't you worry about Hachiko? Don't you think we should call Takumi to tell him to get his ass moving? Yasu said, yeah, or surrounded by a bunch of like thought dots. And then, yes, but he doesn't answer his cell phone.
Right.
So now Hachi turns around and she yells at Nana. And then she's like, but I wouldn't be happy if he came to see me half-heartedly because he was pressured. And I swear I'm all right, don't worry. And then Nana looks kind of worried. Yasu's just in the background. I assume he's kind of furrowing his brow.
Yeah, he's like pensive, like,
yeah, face. Yeah. But Nana looks, like, oh. Yeah. And so then Hachi walks over and she's at like a vending machines. Because, they're at a proper like studio now, right? Uh-huh. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we have thought boxes and it says, said that way, they'll probably think that I'm pretending to be strong. But I really think that if Takumi doesn't give me any news from him, it won't be that bad. In fact, it'll be better that way. It's certain. And then there's a hey. And then a Hachi, and that's Shin. Mm-hmm. And Nobu's following behind with a little sweat bead. He looks like he's trying to walk cool, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's suave. It's okay.
He looks like he's trying to walk cool.
Yeah, you can preen yourself. It's okay, Nobu.
It's okay. You're allowed. You're just a sweet little puppy. It's fine.
Yes.
So Hachi kind of turns and Shin says, buy one for me too, a fruit beverage. And then Nobu says, buy one for yourself. And then Hachi's just like smiling like the classic, like giggle smile with like the giant beaming, and they're all... Then Shin smiles at her the same way. And then, I mean, in this, Nobu has like hard eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these are heart eyes. Like, he's gazing at her like love eyes.
Yep.
Heart eyes for life right there, little Nobu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And so then we pan into, they're in the practice studio. And it's like the back of Nana and Nobu, and they're practicing, and then like between them, it's Hachi sitting on a bench, and she's just like gazing at Nobu playing.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes are down, and then it's like he feels her looking at
Mm-hmm.
him. Like, you know that's what that is.
Yeah, if someone's just like, looking at you like a tall drink of water,
Right?
you're gonna notice.
Well, like, I think she's like subconsciously just gazing at him too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And then he notices, so he opens his eyes, and there's a little dashes by his eye. And then she blushes, and her eyes get wide. And then
Mm-hmm.
he has like the hard eyes again.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sweet little smile. And then he closes his eyes and goes back to playing.
Just a little satisfied.
Right?
Just a skosh.
Oh no, he's very satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so then it like goes and focuses on her eyeball, and it says, "I love you."
Mm.
I know. I know. I know. Oh, I know.
Mm. I'm not
And I
ready.
mean, we technically have a scene change because they leave for the practice studio.
They do. Oh boy. Okay. I had issues with this part.
Oh,
So,
do you want me to go? I can keep going. And we can
sure.
discuss as we go. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, cuz I
I'll
was
keep
just
going, and then we'll just dissect as we go.
okay. Yeah, cuz
Okay.
I was just like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah, no,
hurting.
it's a moment.
I'm
Like, this is a
hurting."
moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Because we just had the I love you, and it's like, I don't know, flutterbys in my tummy. I remember the first time reading that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just like sweet. It's young love. Like
it
genuine.
is.
Like puppy love, right?
Yeah.
Um and so then it's Nobu, and it says, "Say, don't you think that Nana's singing improves every day? Is it because of her exercise?
It's
Don't
just
you have
cute.
the feeling that we're going to succeed from her doing what? Sit-ups on the bed?
Yeah, the sit-ups on the bed.
Oh no. No, I think it's because she's like exercising her voice because she's singing more.
Yeah, she's,
But
she's
I'm
just
like,
doing it.
exercise her sit-ups on the bed. It's gotta be the sit-ups on the bed.
It's gotta be those
That's it.
sit-ups.
It's gotta be that six-pack that she's working on.
Oh
Oh
man.
no. So now we have thought boxes, and it says Trapness has 2 days off left. If I stay without news from Takumi, I'll be considered as a poor woman that has never let down that has never been let down by an admirable man. I'll be considered a poor woman that has never been let down by an admirable man.
It's a way to put it, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose. Interesting.
Yeah, because in mine she's like,
Oh,
I'll
because
just
he's not
be
admirable.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, in mine she just says, I'll just be the dumb girl who got duped and ditched by a player.
Right.
Which I'm like, more
Mine is more
accurate.
respectful. And actually more of a
True.
jab.
True. Like, he's not that. No,
It's
no.
like your version gives him more power.
Mm,
This version gives her more power.
yeah, no, I've noticed that for sure.
The misogyny.
The misogyny. Well, it was like 2001, 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's the, the patriarchal differences. There we go.
Patriarchal brown frown.
Yeah. So we still have thought boxes, but it's like showing like Nobu's profile with him smiling, and I assume it's all dreamy like.
Mm-hmm.
And then in thought boxes, I'll dump everything onto Kumi's back, and we'll be able to live another adventure. She's over him.
Mm.
Like at this
Yeah,
moment, yeah,
in
she's
this
over him.
moment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she's gazing at Nobu and still like thinking in her head, whole story
Mm-hmm.
up here, and I assume that they're talking and he's talking and she's not paying attention.
Nope.
But but if they find out that all of this was calculated, my friends won't love me anymore. And
Mm.
I have the impression that it would be too perfect if a guy agreed to go out with under the context that I was let down by Takumi. I don't want Nobu to think that I'm an easy woman, even if, to be honest, that's what I really am. And then we have a they're walking down the stairs. And we see a back profile and we see like the G-Wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And her eyes get big.
Yeah.
And she's like, a black Mercedes. And then she yells, Nobu, you can leave me here. And he goes, eh? And she's like, I can go home alone from here. It's not that far. It's kind to have accompanied me home every night, even if it makes you do a detour. And Nobu stops and he's like, it's all right. I don't mind. But if it annoys you, I'll ask Shin or Yasu starting from tomorrow. And she's like, no, it's not that it's annoy Bam. Nana.
Yeah. Because who is it? It's Takumi.
It's Takumi. And he yells, Nana. Mm-hmm. But like, you know, she's like, when she's saying no, she gets cut off. And she looks distressed. She's under duress. And then it's almost like she freezes when he says her name. And then Nobu's eyes get really wide, and because like Takumi's behind him, so then he turns around and then he looks shocked. And we're still in Nana's head at this point. If he was to come at that moment, he should have sent a mail. What a difficult man, and so at ease. And then it's a beautiful shot of Takumi.
Beautiful shot of Takumi, right? I'm just like, you do this, Yazawa. She's just like a fickle.
His hair's like flowing in the fucking wind.
His eyes are all just like
smoldering.
Yeah, like she's doing this on purpose.
Of course she is.
It's not okay.
He's the favorite. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no is indeed.
And so then he's pulling his sunglasses off and he sees Nobu and he's got like, I don't know, he's got a little sweat bead and like he's furrowing his brow and he goes, oh, it's you. But it's not like, he's not like throwing daggers when he says it.
No, I don't know what he's thinking in that moment.
I mean, I think that he knows he interrupted. I think he does have a sense of, he's jealous of Nobu. Let's be honest.
I mean, no, yeah, for sure, because what he does here, I'm like, you stop that. You're doing that on purpose.
But he's manipulative.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because, like, you'll explain with the next panel, he, like, touches Hachi's hair, and I'm like, that's intimate in front of Nobu.
Right, exactly. Like, that's the thing. It's a game.
I don't like. See, that's why I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
And so Nobu, it says grrr.
Yeah, because he's he's making the puppy.
Growling. He's a little puppy growl. It's a little puppy growl because now we have like this poodle who went into the hairstylist. He's got a little fluffy do in his lounge chair.
He was at Pups and Suds earlier.
I mean, I really like, I'm pretty anti like, the AI shit, but I really want to do AI art, the AI art with some of these catchphrases and see what happens.
Oh, goodness. Oh, no. I'm also anti-AI art, but it's always like, God damn it. You could get some.
I want to see what'll happen.
Right. Yes.
So he walks up to Hachi and he like starts to like fuss with her hair, like shake her, like pat her on the head, but like, rustle her hair, which generally speaking, like that's a sweet thing to do, but not like this, right?
Yeah, calculated move.
It's who's being calculated?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so he says, where were you at this time? I was worried. It's already midnight, I've waited for an hour. Oh, have you waited?
Have you waited? Like, sir,
you have technology. I don't care. I don't care if it's like the year 2000 and cell phones are still like flip phone, but like you had a phone.
You did. You do. You do have a phone.
So, and so she's like
dramatic.
He's being manipulative.
That too.
Yeah, calculated.
Mm.
And so she's like, oh, sorry, I was at the studio to see Nana's band practice. Since Nana wasn't there, and that I'm scared to go home alone at night, Nobu walked me home, and Nobu's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Takumi still has his hand in her hair.
Mm-hmm. I can physically feel him think, like, stop touching her.
Uh-huh. He wants to punch him.
Yep. Right in his face.
He wants to bite his hand.
Grr.
Bite his ankles. Go!
Bite his ankles. Go, Nobu.
And so now he's got his hand on her shoulder, and she's blushing and, like, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell she's uncomfortable because, like, her arms are, like, folded forward. Like, she gets with him.
Yeah.
Like, that's a
Mhm.
stance that she gets with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she becomes small.
Yep. Very tiny.
And I don't mean physically small because, like, Takumi's tall. But, yeah.
I mean,
Her
kind of.
body-
She crumples. She's like
Yeah.
crumply. And...
Her body posture goes into itself.
Mhm.
And so there's little stars around him, though. And he's like Mr. Cool Guy now. And he's like, okay, that's kind. And so Hachi is like, well, thanks, Nobu. Good night. And she looks like really sad, and he looks defeated. She looks like she's gonna cry.
Yeah.
And she's thinking in her head, I'm an idiot. Why is she blaming herself for this, though? This is not her fault.
I mean, no, it isn't. But I'm also like, you don't have to go with him.
You don't have to go with Takumi.
You don't have to walk.
You
back
could be
to the
like, not
house.
tonight. We will talk later.
Yeah, but she's like all small and stuff, and
Yeah, she gets small around him.
yeah, she's being led. I guess she feels like, oh, I have to. It's like, again,
It's abusive, though.
It is. Like, you don't have to do anything.
Like, the fact that he's not consciously aware that that's not okay for anybody to act that way, though, too.
Yeah.
Because he does have way more experience than her.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. So he says, sorry to come unexpectedly like this. I left without my cell phone and came directly from there. So no way to tell you.
Why do you have a phone? Sorry.
I mean, like, granted, like, unplugging like that when he's as busy as he is, I can, like, understand that part.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
But
I'm
to, like,
just
spring and make people, like, stand at attention for you, that's not
Mhm.
okay. Your
Yeah.
decisions aren't the responsibility of other people.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I forgot my phone. That, she's not expecting me. Maybe I should just not.
And you haven't talked to her in weeks.
Right?
And before that, you didn't talk to her in weeks. You've talked to her, it's like a solid total, like, 48 hours since you've known each other.
Right?
Over the course of weeks. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just weird.
Mhm.
It's just
I mean,
weird.
it could be less than that too, because I'm like, I don't think they do a lot of talking when they're,
No, they don't. It's probably like 24 hours because it's just the bedding hours.
right? Yeah.
Oh no.
It's true though. It's so true. Just like, how many words have you said together?
Right? Ugh.
Oh man.
So now she's in her headspace and she's like, all of this happened because I take the opportunity to get Nobu to walk me home and that I only think of myself. I'm sure I've hurt him really bad. What to do? Now, see, here's the thing. Now she's not being crazy selfish like she was
Mm-hmm.
with, fuck, what's his name now?
Shoji? Is it Shoji?
Yeah,
him.
he's backstage. It doesn't count. He's backstage in my brain now, too.
Right?
You know what I mean? But I also feel like she's getting like a dose of her own medicine. Because, like, for Shoji, she was the Takumi.
Yeah, but Takumi is a force of nature, so
Yes, I mean she was like Takumi in practice. But this is what I mean though. Like this is like the karmic retribution.
right?
But the fact that she's still blaming herself.
Yeah.
Like she needed to blame herself for how she treated Shoji. Sure.
Yeah.
She should not be blaming herself for how Takumi is treating her.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like, I don't know, I feel bad for Nobu, obviously.
Oh no, I mean like that's why I'm like this hurts. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm just like yelling
A
at her
love
like
triangle.
No. Mm-mm. It's disapprove.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, there's better
yeah.
ways to do it. There's better ways to do it. So she's like,
Russian
what do
roulette
I,
button.
right? So now they walk into her apartment and she's like, what do I do? What to do? I won't even dare to go back to the studio. I won't dare to face him. And Takumi's like behind her and he takes off his like his sunglasses because he's wearing sunglasses at night because he's so cool.
So cool.
Jeez. Takumi.
Also, to be fair, he doesn't know anything that's going on in her head right now either.
No,
I mean,
he doesn't have any idea. Any idea. But like her body language is enough.
yeah, I mean, I feel like it really
He's
should
so
be.
dense.
He's so dense.
And like Takumi is just drawn as a thirst trap.
Yup.
Like he's
Straight
just his
up.
existence is a thirst trap. Like that's the whole thing. And we
Yeah.
all know that thirst traps are toxic, but we still watch them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Takumi is a
But
legitimately drawn,
thirst trap.
always on point thirst trap.
Mm-hmm.
That's his whole existence. That's what he was born to do.
So pretty.
I mean, it's his origin story.
Addicted to you, but you know that you're toxic.
Yes, exactly.
Song, the whole thing.
Right, the whole thing.
She was talking about Takumi.
Right, it was all about Takumi. It was all about Takumi the whole time. So Takumi's like standing behind like Hachi, and her head is kind of down. And then she like, because she's in her head.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just like kind of stops and he's like gazing at her, but he's like, it's kind. His eyes are kind at this point.
Yeah, that's nice.
I know, but anyway.
I know.
And so then she like turns her head and she goes, oh, Takumi, do you want me to cook anything for you? Are you hungry? And he looks pleased and he says no. And then she looks up at him.
Mm.
And then she's like, do you want anything to drink? I have some fresh beer. Fresh beer?
Fresh, very, very fresh.
Hasn't been sitting out. It's not stale.
It's not stale.
And so he's like, okay. And so she goes and gets the fresh beer out of the fridge. And she's in her head again. And she's like, I can't let myself be softened to Takumi. I'm only a good opportunity to have a good time when he feels like it in the end. Twice is okay, but 3? If I don't do anything, this meaningless relationship might continue like this. If I want to end this thing, it's now or never. Before I can't go back anymore. All I have to do is ask him not to come back. And then she turns around and he's not there. And then she looks and she sees her door open. And then it's a picture of his cigarettes on her nightside table. And why does she have an ashtray? I've wondered that for like a couple chapters now. I'm just like, she doesn't even smoke.
I think it's
Nana's.
Yeah, I think it's
Probably
Nana's,
Nana's.
and she hasn't been here for 2 weeks, and I think when Takumi was
Yeah,
there, she had
He
it
brought
in
it.
her room.
Okay, yeah. So now we have a thought box and it says, but am I able to do such a thing? And so he's sitting on her bed and he's going to light a cigarette and she's leaning against the door with the beer. And he like looks up at her, he's kind of smiling, and she looks defeated.
Mm-hmm.
And goes to take a drink of the beer and thinks to herself, I can't tell him. And he starts laughing and he goes, huh? You're drinking alone? Give me some. And he's just like laughing at her. And she's like, I don't know. The blush, like sweat bead, eye gesture thing with all the, there's a ... next to her.
Yeah, like
I think she's still not comfortable.
no. Mm-mm.
And so he goes to hand her the beer and grabs her wrist and pulls her. And the beer falls and she's in her head. And she's like, I know very well that this relationship isn't going anywhere. But then why can't I put an end to it? And now he's on top of her.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a scene change.
Yep. And the door opens, bang, and we see like Shin, and he looks up, and he's like, hello, Nobu. And Nobu like jumps into his bed. It says dive. It's books go flying everywhere, and he like covers up his head with his covers. Like, I'm going to bed, just fully dressed. He hasn't taken any of his clothes off.
He ran into bed. He ran into bed.
He ran into bed.
There's books flying everywhere.
Yep. And then Shin, Shin looks at him, question mark, with his little tiny like dot eyes, and is kind of like, sort of like, okay, whatever. Rewinds his videotape, and then he goes, click.
It's just like, but it's also just like, oh, you're being dramatic again. Let me go back to my porn.
Right? Because that's what it is. That is what it is. And now we have all the hearts, and everything's like, ooh.
Oh, yes.
And Nobu like jumps out of the bed. It says leave, and he's like, what the hell are you watching? And Shin casually is like, a porno.
Oh, Mighty says an X-rated movie.
Oh goodness. Oh,
I'm studying.
Yep. I'm studying up new techniques. What's the name of the one in yours? Because I want to know if it's different than mine.
Oh, it's not translated.
Oh, dang. Okay, so in mine it says the wedded woman.
Yeah, mine's not translated. It's in Japanese.
Oh, okay. Well, she's probably married, And Nobu like grabs the control out of his hand, and he's like, well, now's not the time. Click, are you trying to piss me off? And he's just, and he's like out of breath. He's like, I've had enough. And Shin's like, what do you mean? Because Nobu's explained nothing, but now like,
yeah, he ran into bed.
He ran into bed, and now we see like a shot of his eyes, and
he's crying.
He's gonna cry. And Shin is just wide eyes and like, oh dear. And then they're just both sitting on the floor. Nobu's got like his head just down, and Shin's just like, what happened? Like goes to touch him, and Nobu like jerks away, and he's like, nothing, leave me alone. But then he apologizes. He's just like, sorry, I just need some time alone. So Shin's just kind of got like blank eyes. And he's looking at Nobu, who's just like next to his bed, just sort of like has his head just like resting on it. And Shin, I think, goes to reach for whatever this drink is on the table. And Nobu says, Shin, as he's like walking out.
It's fresh beer. Maybe it's stale beer. It's probably stale beer.
It's stale beer. It's not the fresh beer. Like Takumi.
It's not out of the fridge.
It's not out of the fridge. So Shin's like getting up to leave, and Nobu's like, if a man and a woman are just objects of desire to each other, can they really be bound by love? And it's just like Shin's eyes, and he is looking at Nobu, and then he just sort of like looks to the side, and then he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm glad he didn't like make up any bullshit answer.
Right. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In mine, he says, are two beings attracted to each other by their mutual desire, right? Can love truly link them?
I also don't know, Nobu. Couldn't tell you, buddy.
Dude, yeah. Well, I mean, I can. Poor this is why I'm just like, don't hurt Nobu.
Right.
I'm Team Nobu when it comes to this whole thing. I don't care like how it all turns out. Like at this point, this is like still where it's like, but Nobu is like good.
Mm-hmm.
It's chaotic good. A lot of chaotic.
Yeah.
But good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's facts. But we're back in Hachi's head, and we see like the Panther cigarettes, and she's like, I just wanted to get close to Takumi from Trap Nest out of curiosity. I'm not as pure as Nana thinks, and I'm not the girl next door that Nobu thinks I am. But Takumi knows me, the me that's empty inside, and I know that Takumi's a scoundrel. And, they're doing it. So, we're getting some panels here of,
Yeah, but I'm not okay with this doing it.
I mean, while she's, like, crying, because she's crying.
I mean, in general.
Okay.
Like from their last part of the scene, even into this part of the scene. This is not consensual.
It's true. Although, okay, so like this part is interesting because like he pulls back because she's like clinging to him. And he pulls back and he looks at her face and he says, Nana, and she's crying. But she's still in her head. And he's like, it's funny. I used to seem, he used to seem so unattainable. And he kind of like touches her face and she grabs his hand and the tears. And I don't know, he kind of,
Right. I think that it becomes consensual, but I don't think it started out that way.
No, that's true because she was like not in a good space, and
Yeah.
now he's like looking at her,
But
looking
that's
at
why it's
her.
just kind of yucky.
Yeah, things are complicated, man. I mean, it isn't. I mean, it isn't like in a way. It's like he could have read her body language and been like, "Hey, do you want to talk? Do you want
Yep.
to do
Yep.
anything except do it?" But he
Right.
didn't. So
But it's almost like she just like gave in.
she did it because she thinks she can't say no.
It doesn't. Yeah, that's the problem.
Hmm.
That's what makes it not okay.
You can say no, guys. And if everybody, you can say
Yeah.
no. Everybody.
Right.
But yeah, but he looks at her, touches her, touches her face, and then he leans down, and I think he's giving her a genuine kiss, like
Yeah.
like, are you
Just
okay?
because it's genuine doesn't mean it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't make it
weird.
okay. Yeah.
No, it doesn't make it okay. It's still like weird, but at least he's like having a humanity for like a second.
Yeah, but he's having a humanity after like he got what he wanted. So it doesn't. I don't know. I feel like it cancels itself out.
True. It's like that math problem.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like,
Yeah.
yet Takumi seems to be the only one who understands my partner in crime.
Oh.
And we have a scene change.
So it says in mine, but Takumi seems to be the only one to be able to forgive me for this. He's my one and only accomplice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a little scene change. We're staring at a cell phone in front of a water front. City front. Water. River.
Yeah, water, because remember Nana's she's the water. She's got the snow and the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it says, thanks to have worried me yesterday. Takumi came to see me and suggested that we stay together till the holiday ends. But I have to go to work. I shouldn't have agreed to work today. If not, when do you think you'll be able to come back? You guys will have to seriously practice till your concert. So I won't come to bother you at the studio, but I'm with you with all of my heart. Say hello to everyone for me, Hachiko. And she said that to Nana. And so now Nana, she's in her head thinking. She's trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, because she just, like, what happened? What did he...
Exactly. So she closes the phone and she's walking down the street, and we're in the thought boxes, which are Hachi. And it says, even after Trapnest holiday, Nana hasn't come back. But I simply thought that she wanted to stay with Ren. I would have liked to see her at the studio, but I didn't dare meet Nobu, so I didn't go. As usual, Takumi hasn't contacted me once. But being tolerant and curious at the same time, I told myself that one of these days he'll come back to see me. I didn't know well myself if it was confidence or resignation. And then there's a rocking horseshoe that gets out of, well, it's like the station, train station. And it's Masato!
I'm so glad you're here, Masato. Like, please. Hachi's lonely, man. Like, please come save her.
Right? So there's like noise and rustlings in the background. Do you want to read this part, or should I keep going?
Let's see. I mean, it's almost
done.
It's almost done. So yeah. You can do the things.
Okay. So it's Masato. And Hachi yells Masato and is waving, and they're both smiling because they're both super cute and totally opposite but adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, "Thanks for coming here to pick me up, Komatsu-san." And Hachi is like, "It's all right. You can call me Hachiko. Your nickname is cute." It is cute, kind of. It's like yes and no.
No.
And it says, "We still have some time before the concert, so we should go home to leave our luggage. To leave your luggage." And so Masato says, "Are you sure I can stay at your house once again? Thanks for always taking care of me." And Hachi says, "Yes. You can stay as long as you want. It's the holidays right now. You have some time, right?" And Masato says, "Yes. To be honest, I'd like to stay during all holiday, but a month might be long for you." Not now.
No.
So Hachi's like, no problem. You can stay during the holiday. I'd like you to stay. And Masato's like, really? That's so touching. And it's like, she's fucking lonely.
Yeah, you could physically hear her be like, please don't go.
Please stay with me. It's too quiet.
It's too quiet and I'm slightly codependent. I'm sorry.
My best friend is gone and my boyfriend sucks and I broke the heart of the good one.
Yep. Just going through it.
Right? And so Hachi's like, it makes me so happy. I'll be able to enjoy and good humor once again. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I know. Wait, is she thinking that? Because if someone had said that, okay. Because if someone had said that to me, I'd be really fucking worried. I'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, I think she's thinking it because it's like next to her head. Okay. And it says, yeah. Nana went to live with Ren and doesn't seem to want to come back. So I'm living by myself. And it's rather sad. Aww. And Masato's like, but here, just finding out about Ren and Nana having the perfect relationship makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Oh, yeah, but...
Come on. And so Hachi's like, oh, damn. I talked without thinking. I was convinced that you knew already, since you know more about Blast than me. And Masato's like, even when they hadn't gone to Tokyo yet, I had found out that they were living together. And since I didn't know how their relationship had evolved, I'm now relieved. And Hachi's like, please don't say anything, huh? I shouldn't be the one telling you this, but, well... Masato's like, no problem. You can trust me, Hachiko-san. And there's like all these dots. She's got a little dot, like little dot, like thing, and it says, it sounds weird with the san. Hachiko-san.
Hachiko-san.
Oh no.
You can only be Hachiku or Hachiko, but not right. Hachiko-san.
Hachiko-san. It's a mouthful. So it says the concert starts at 7 p.m., right? I'm eager to see all of the band members. They must be in the middle of a practice. It'll be a week since I've seen them, says Hachi. And so Masato's like, didn't you go to the studio every day? And she's like, oh, yeah, but I didn't want to bother them before the concert. Masato's like, okay, I see. It would be great if Blast found a producer, right? Hachi's like, yeah. And then we're in her head.
And she's sad.
She's sad because now she's thinking about it. And she's like, when I'll see Nobu today, how should I act? It's possible that Nobu won't ever smile at me again. At that thought, I had tears in my eyes. And to say that now, I would have understood what Nana had in mind that night when she gave so much voice to sing this song written by Nobu, and it flashes back to when she was singing in the tub and they were out on the barge thing in the river.
Yeah.
The song written by Nobu to make it reach my ears.
Yeah.
See? Oh, this is such a controversial chapter.
Yeah. so many
There's
feelings.
so many feelings to it.
It's very, it's, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's heavy.
I don't like it. Hachi, you didn't have to go home with the
Yeah, she
queen.
could have told him to go,
Yeah,
but he is manipulative and he's charming.
very charming.
And like, I don't know. And even after she got there, she was like, I need to end it with him.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in that situation too. Honestly, you're just I don't know what the reason is. You never figure out the reason. Like, why couldn't I just be like, "Hey, so
Patriarchy.
this?" Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Because it's like socially ingrained, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The submission.
Mm-hmm.
Socially ingrained. When it's non-consensual submission, because that's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it wasn't like a boundary agreed upon, right?
Yeah. What
So like
boundaries?
I know that's the point.
Right? Like, I don't say there's no barriers here.
No, seriously. And that's the yucky part of it. I don't know.
True.
Like
Although,
I just
it would have been interesting though if Nobu had decided to act on punching Takumi in the face.
oh my goodness, I need a rewrite.
Oh, I know, but we kind of just talked about this. Takumi would hurt Nobu
Oh,
so
he would
bad.
annihilate him.
Just her so bad.
Because
Although if Hachi would be screaming at the top of her lungs, like
right.
for
Well,
him to
and I
stop.
feel like Nobu would have been driven by passion, whereas Takumi is very much the type that like just doesn't care. He
Yeah,
just
no.
doesn't care.
Well, no, because he's like, I mean, we've already, so like trauma, right? He's got like, he's like trauma, so like he just doesn't, it doesn't register because he used to get like, spoiler, he used to get the shit kicked out of him on the regs. So,
Right. He
he's
just
like,
yeah, he just like, he refuses to not let it defeat him. So like, he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. But Nobu's probably never been in a fist fight.
That's my thing. That's why he'd be driven by passion.
Yeah, and he'd make mistakes. He might get one good hit, one really good, solid surprise hit.
Yeah, like the first one.
Yeah, the first exactly like like that first one, man, just right in his face, and then Takumi would be like, "Game on, sucker," and then we'd be like, "Oh no." Thank you all for joining us for this episode. Very spicy one, apparently, of Nanopod. You can find us on all the things. We have an Instagram at apartment707_, and we have a link to all of our stuff on our link tree through there. And comment about the show, follow us, like us, rate us, do all the things. Follow us on all the platforms. We have a Tumblr. Yeah, I guess that is all that we have for this evening, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye forever.
Then I was also scrolling through the comments on this chapter that we just read.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my god. So then I ended up on a Reddit.
Oh no. Wait. Were they that bad? Were the comments
Oh
that
yes.
bad?
Oh yes. And I had to
dear.
like frame it out. I'm just like, excuse me. Okay. So if you don't want spoilers, stop listening.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're gonna talk about this, okay? It's a bonus chapter, so we're gonna do some bonus material because now I'm annoyed. Okay.
How to get bonus material. Annoy Kirsten.
Annoy me. Okay, so there's a comment that says, dude, I love Nobu so much. I'm actually gonna cry. And then someone says, 8 months ago, he essayed Hachi later.
What? No,
But
he
okay,
didn't.
he's mid, right? And someone else is like, don't spoil the manga for others. And then somebody says, and the person who says like he essayed her, their screen name on here is Hachiko. And so then someone else says, Nobu deserves better. That same person comes in and says, I wish he died. Right?
My
and then people are like,
goodness.
I know. And so people are like, oh, I'm starting to dislike Hachi. whatever. If you didn't hate her like in her first initial chapter, I don't know. Like, this is when, we love her. So like, move along. She's also young. Stop it. And it's a different time. It's a different time.
Yeah, she's making choices. So
she's figuring it out. And then somebody else is like, also, why is no one talking about Shin and Rira? She's kind of a pedo. And I'm like, no, yes, but like, no. Like you can't project like today then, and you can't project like different cultural standards. That bothers me. So,
yeah.
So then somebody else says Nobu with a crying face, and the same Hachiko person is like mid.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, right? There's actually a really good big long comment that doesn't have to do with that essay's thing, but we're gonna get there, okay? So this person says, rereading this chapter after Takumi's past made me understand Takumi's reaction. If Takumi's past, he mentioned how he couldn't fit in. The image of the happy family his sister created, and it made him feel in pain. Takumi had everything, money, power, women, but he never had a family nor a home. In this chapter, he went back to his hometown to pay his sister a visit. He feels so grateful for his sister because she sacrificed so much for him, and he respected that. But it hurt him deep inside to see how she was able to establish her own family. He was feeling lonely. He went to see Hachiko immediately after that. He never waited. He even waited for her for an hour. He didn't bring his phone because he knew only Hachiko could heal his wounds and fill his emptiness. At this point, Takumi saw Hachiko as his sanctuary. Hachiko truly cared about him in spite of every wrong thing he was doing. In the end of chapter 69.5, he mentioned how he really wanted to have a place like that. Moreover, this chapter proves Hachiko didn't have any romantic feelings for Nobu. I don't agree with that.
I already have feelings, but continue.
Yeah. She knew how he was feeling towards her. Takumi didn't ask about her for almost 2 weeks. And still, the moment she saw him, she chose him as always. Hachiko didn't love Nobu for the person. She loved Nobu's love and attention. See, I don't agree with that.
Okay. So, all right. I will agree, Takumi. He does feel empty inside, and Hachi makes him feel safe, and that's great. But that doesn't mean he just gets to like bowl her over.
Exactly.
And like be like,
he's
feel
being
my
manipulative.
emptiness.
Right.
Yeah, feel my emptiness, woman.
That's also like, using someone.
Yeah.
Take care of me. Take care of me.
Yeah, and it's very, and I mean, but also like that, it's like very, very well astute commenter, because that is actually very of the time too. Like, oh, the manic pixie dream girl.
Yep.
Like, fix me.
Yeah.
Make me want to live again.
No, it's like a really good assessment, but like it's also like projecting his past onto his future and then the future onto the present.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of projection.
And I don't agree about, about the Nobu thing. I'm like, nah. Again, did we read the same comic?
Right. Yeah, did we read the same story? We're going to get to that though. I have a lot of criticisms, okay? Okay. So, the next comment says, I don't know. I understand, Hachi. Sometimes you feel so bad, empty, and lonely. You compulsively do questionable things that are just going to hurt yourself. You feel guilty and dirty, and you can't tell anyone how you feel or what you do because you don't want them to be disgusted. But one way or another, you end up hurting them as well, though it was never your intention. In the end, we apologize for those we hurt, even though we'll keep doing it. But having to comfort other and try not to hurt them when we are the ones feeling like shit is the worst burden since. As a song I like goes, I never meant to hurt you. I only meant to do this to myself. And someone responds with, yeah, I like what you said. I understand her as well. Also, Nobu is in no way better than Takumi. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's my third time reading the manga.
Oh, your
So
third time? Sorry. Sorry. That was
that's
mean.
still like a choice though. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
was mean, but like they didn't just read it once. So I'll give them that.
I know. I'm sorry. It's
No, it was good.
better.
The third time. The third time.
No, it's only your third time. What a connoisseur. Sorry. Stop. Continue.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's my third time reading the manga. So just you wait and see what kind of person Nobu really is. As for Takomi,
What do
he is the
you mean?
we're gonna get there. He is the
Okay,
one
sorry.
no, you're fine. No, please. Yeah. He is the only one who sees the real Hachi. I feel like he hasn't even seen her in person or talked to her for more than 24 hours at this
Within
point.
24 hours. They've exchanged
Hasn't
like
even
6 sentences
total.
total.
Um
Oh man.
I feel like he understands her so well. That's why I wanted him to love Hachi, because she deserves to be loved, but sadly this manga is just pain. No shit, Lee.
I mean, of course it is. What do you think you were signing up for?
Well, I
Sorry.
mean, like they made it this far.
True.
They could have turned back.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Just
Right? Okay, so the next one says, Hachi, I'm begging you, please have some self-worth. What is this?
oh, she's young, guys.
Yeah, and it's also a different time.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Glad you all are so well adjusted at whatever age you are.
I was not. So then the final comment on this before we get into like the Nobu essay charges.
Oh goodness.
This one says, I understand Nobu. He couldn't be a man and stand up for Hachi unless Hachi really makes it clear she feels the same for him. Ah.
True.
Yep. Her hitting him with the good night was so sad when Nobu is the one walking with her every night home.
Mm-hmm.
Takumi only left that party to sleep with Nana when he saw Nobu's reaction to him sleeping with her the first time around. Takumi needs his ego filled. And that's what Miss Little Doggy does for him.
Miss
Little Doggy.
Miss Little Doggy.
Well, I mean, like it's also how he references her.
Yep.
To other people. So it's to make him feel like he's a man. She also wants the bad boy type. Despite all of her claims of wanting a good guy, it's so annoying.
I don't think she's. I don't
think she does.
No, she's directly like in the like the last couple of volumes. She has directly said, "I want a guy who's like snotty, who will like kind of mistreat her. Like she's blatant, guys."
Yeah, like and not the bad boy type.
Mm-hmm.
But she also admits in this chapter that like she wasn't interested in Takumi as the person.
Mm-hmm.
She was interested in Takumi from Trap Nest.
Right.
And she's admitted that now a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's that balance to it. So they go on to say, I get making mistakes, but she got real messy with it. She did.
Yeah.
She's loving the crew. I don't know what that line means, but
I know.
it's one thing to sleep it's one thing to sleep one person after another, but she has no thought on how her actions is causing reactions and hurt on all the other people around her. You know that she slept with like 2 people, right,
Yeah.
Angie?
Right. And I'm like, I think she's very aware of what she's doing. Well,
Yeah,
mm,
she has become wildly self-aware since Shoji has departed the story.
She just doesn't know how to stop it. She doesn't know how to.
She doesn't know self-control yet.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah,
and like
no stop
she hasn't. She slept with Shoji and she slept with Takumi.
Yeah,
and then I mean Mr. Asano, but that was
that was the before time.
Yeah, that was the before times.
Yeah, that's not.
That was high school.
Yeah.
I'm like, she did start off with a type, and I mean, Takumi, it's more of Mr. Asano type than Shoji was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they go on to say, but she has no thought of how her actions are causing reactions and hurt on all the other people around her. Maybe in the first few chapters, darling. She literally is the drama. Maybe in the first few chapters.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is gonna turn into drama,
Right.
but now again, she's just like, how to stop? How stop? Where's the
Right.
brakes?
Yeah. And then it says, if you're gonna body hop, don't do it in your social circle. What a lame. Excuse you. Are we reading the same story?
Again, I've said it before. I don't think I don't.
Okay, so here's the dialogue on that from Reddit.
Uh-huh.
So on the Reddit Nana anime, the title is "Can anyone please confirm this? Never read about Nobu Esse Hachi twice."
No.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I think you're confused.
Uh-huh.
So there's a TikTok that was posted, and it says, "Me trying to explain how Nobu and Takumi are very similar and parallel characters, but fans just like to put Nobu on a pedestal. Nobu admitted to S.A.ing Hachi, chapter 82-83. None of them actually love Hachi. Nobu just likes the idea of Hachi, while Takumi wanted to be a father because he never had one. They're both greatly written characters, but you can't hate Takumi while praising Nobu."
I just made a note in our like chatty chat about chapter 82 and 83, and I will reference this again when we actually get there to see if this is an actual admission he makes, because
Right.
I do not recall anything of the sort.
Right, same.
So, and
Well, and we're going to get into it, okay? So then there's 27 comments. That's not so many. But like it's this whole thing. So like the first comment though says, "This is why I don't interact with Nana Talk."
That's fair.
And then it says, "I don't know why I keep interacting with Nana TikToks when they're all awful, minus the edits, but yeah." And then it says, "This isn't being discussed on TikTok. Literal same context, just a different post. It seems it's not an isolated thing, and it's solely on TikTok. I remember it being posted." And so then we go on. I've posted a lot before about newer Nana fans, specifically those from TikTok, who have the most questionable and arguably distorted views of the characters and their individual stories. I've watched the entire anime, both dubbed and subbed versions. Now this is the Nana anime Reddit, but the TikTok itself is referencing the chapters, right? So like you got to remember, not everybody's read it. More people have seen it because it was put on Netflix and then Hulu. So like, you know what I mean? Like more people will have watched it than read it. And just like we've seen with like people thinking that Gokenjo is new. So I've watched the entire anime, both dubbed and subbed versions, multiple times, and have read bits and pieces of the manga. I'm waiting till I'm able to actually get my hands on the physical copies. But I've never seen anything regarding Nobu supposedly assaulting Hachi. I've seen people argue that Nobu and Hachi almost sharing a kiss was SA, which I don't agree with. But this person said that there was another instance of him harming her and even admitting to it. So I'm curious if anyone can confirm whether that's something that actually happened and I missed it because a fuck. Ayazawa has never shied away from showing things like this before, an example being when Takumi raped Hachi. And so someone commented to that, and it says, "It's not as bad as what Takumi did, and I don't think I would call what Nobu did SA. And he was trying to kiss her, and she didn't want to, and it seemed a bit forceful."
What are they talking about?
I mean, I gotta go like look now, which is I'm gonna do once we're done here.
Is it okay? Okay, so because
I could just find it. Because my brain is like all over the place with this because I'm just like, it's kill me.
No, so is mine. Okay, so
Like, I will say, like, in the chapter that we just read, though, like, I don't think that that was fully consensual. I think that it became consensual. Like, that's something we're speaking about and talking about the concepts of consent, right?
Yeah, but that was with her and Takumi, not her and
Exactly.
Nobu. And
Exactly.
okay, so they're
I also don't
saying
think their first time was fully consensual either.
yeah, because she was still that like small, like crumpled body person when things
Right.
were happening, and then
Exactly. Exactly. So
yeah,
then it goes on. There's more. There's another person who commented, I feel like assault would be a bit strong of a word for the chapter 83 situation because technically Nobuo really does not go further after Hachi stopped him. However, he still was being an immature guy and was pulling the nice guy, quote unquote, with how he accused Hachi of playing with his feelings. Though, to be honest, the question remains that if Nana O didn't enter the scene, would Nobu guilt trip Hachi into kissing him? No, he wouldn't. You obviously don't know Nobu as a character. Then that would be SA. So someone responded to that saying, I keep forgetting to respond to this. But I completely agree. If anything, I could maybe see this as sexual harassment. But even then, I don't think what happened here would fit into the definition either because that also includes unwanted touching, groping, etc. And Nobu didn't actually do anything. This could
okay,
also be a weird example. I'm sorry. What? Go ahead.
no, okay, so okay, sorry, brain scramblies. So are they talking about Hachi? Because there is a character that appears in way later chapters that Nobu is with, and she looks nearly identical to
I know
Hachi.
that's true too, which also makes me wonder.
Yeah, I'm like, who are you talking about? And also, that relationship is completely different than the one he's got with Hachi. I'm not saying that he did anything because he didn't, because for this more than 3 times.
Right.
So, sorry,
Nope,
snarky.
this is the chapter. This is the chapter where Hachi had run away to Nobu. Takumi's alone. They're in Nobu's apartment and they're hugging and she's crying. Um,
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
So
pretty sure
it's.
that's Hachi. Nope, and then there's the girl that ends up dating him. She's at
Mhm.
the record studio still. Okay, yep, okay. So yeah, that's Hachi.
Okay.
And he goes in to kiss her and she looks afraid. And she pulls back and he's like, okay, you know what I mean? He looks sad or
Mhm.
whatever. Um, is that Hachi? Now I'm all confused because there's the other girl. I'm pretty sure this Hachi, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not reading it.
I mean,
And she says, and oh no, okay, so hold on. Okay, so he says, if you don't want anything to happen, then why don't you come into my room? And then he says, what are you talking about? Stop throwing my feelings around. And then she thinks to herself, no, I just didn't want to hurt your girlfriend. I didn't mean to hurt you. Eternal darkness, blah, blah, blah. And then she's crying. And then it pans. Let's see. Scene change back. And then somebody says, Nana-san. And then they're both on the floor crying together.
mm.
Um, like actually crying together. Like separate, but kneeled down. And then
Mhm.
Nana opens the door and they both look at Nana and they're like, and Nana grabs Nobu.
Mhm.
Um, and oh, this is when she's like not talking. Nana's not talking to save her voice.
Mhm.
And says Nobu, and he says, yes, she speaks. And then she says, you're not so desperate that you need a pregnant wife to take care of you, right? You do have Queen Kawasaka, it's Yuri, um,
Mhm.
that screws you every night. And then he says, you don't have to speak. Because she's not speaking. You should keep your mouth shut forever. And Hachi's in the background nervous. Yeah, that's the scene they're talking about, though.
Okay.
Because they're like hugging and embracing.
So, with all the stuff, we're just reading that and like all the stuff that the other people are saying, how nice that you have never been in a complicated situation.
Yeah.
Sorry. And no, not like, I know should be
I
watching the
mean,
words because of like,
honest, no, yeah, like, to be completely frank, like, sometimes shit's messy.
yeah, I mean, it is. It's
Not
just
everybody's like a perfect candidate, and that's like kind of the point of this manga and the time period that it came out in. It was to shed light that like this, like, what we're told and who we're told we're supposed to be is not actually reality.
yeah, yes.
You
And
know?
yeah, and also that I mean that's the reason that the manga kind of tears your heart apart because everyone is a complete, full, rounded person who they make mistakes, they fuck up.
Yeah.
They do great things too, but also they misstep, they hurt the people they care about, they run away from situations, they lie because that's
Mhm.
what people do.
Right.
I
No,
don't know
absolutely.
what do people want from your characters? Perfection? That's not storytelling.
Yeah.
That's not storytelling.
It's yeah, do you want like characters that are like, the thing is like one of the most beautiful things, not just about characters, but about humans, is that our mistakes, the way that we choose to move with them and how they define our personal story arcs in life is some of the most beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody was like able to never hurt anybody,
Mm-hmm.
how boring. No, but for real.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Right.
I
I
mean, it would
mean,
be nice if we wouldn't hurt other people, because some people really, really do terrible, terrible things.
yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's a gradient scale,
Oh, right. Like,
right?
we're not talking like really big bad. Yeah, but like,
No, but
like,
for real, there's a gradient scale. Like after that one comment just kept going and kept going, right?
mm-hmm.
But then the next person said, "Holy shit, these people are stupid." Then the next person said, "New Nana fans are funny as fuck." Then the
Uh-huh.
next person said, "Bro, they are so dumb." Hashi
Mm.
literally only stops herself because she knows what it's like to be cheated on, which there's a flashback,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't want to do that to Nobuo's girlfriend. So
Yeah.
aggravating. There's a flashback, though,
Mm-hmm.
of when she was trying to get a hold of Shoji and walking with Nobu and how she was feeling.
Right. Right.
Like, see, the thing is like, if she hadn't have had that experience with Shoji,
Mm-hmm.
she probably wouldn't have stopped herself.
Yeah.
Because she stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't keep going. And he wouldn't have, because if you actually look at the scene that's drawn, when
Use your eyes.
when Nana bursts in there, they're like a foot or two apart, both sitting on the ground, like distressed.
Yeah.
Because
Instead
they
of
do want each other. But that's not the way
yeah.
that fate like played it. The Demon Lord said no. Okay,
Yeah.
kids?
I mean, no, for real, that's, and also it's just like, where are you getting this whole like, oh, he's, acting like this little sad boy, like, oh, I didn't get my way. It's like, what? Get up. What do you
Are we
mean?
reading the same story?
We're not. I'm really convinced. I've been convinced for years now, though, because I started looking at comments like back in like what, like 2012 or
I
something like
didn't.
there.
I've avoided them because I know.
Well, welcome to my hell.
Well, now we get my fresh annoyance. Okay?
I mean, this is another reason I wanted to kind of do this journey too, because I'm just like, I can't be alone in this. I'm so
Well,
frustrated
you want
with
to know
these
what? I'm going to
people.
start looking at the Reddits before these
You're gonna,
episodes.
You're gonna be like, welcome to hell. This is not a pod.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's just kind of, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can like do the thing and share our, but see, like our opinions are that we love it,
True.
right? And they're
Yeah.
like already like we've already got a full garden of love over here. Our vegetable garden is full. But I kind of
Yeah.
like these hot takes that are fucking ridiculous. And now I need to get on Nana talk, but that's gonna make me so mad.
You're
Oh
gonna be
my goodness.
so angry. You're gonna be so angry. I mean, like, because the thing that I love about this is like we're doing it, we're having like a great time. But yeah, it is really strange how people kind of take it. And this is another reason I get frustrated with everybody. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean, but it's even kind of like early on because like when I was talking to Nathan and you know like the whole trope of I get it. The whole trope of like, you know, the nanas and this being like sapphic and things like that. And like I can get on board with that relatively speaking. But like when I was talking to Nathan about it and he's like, that's the thing though, is people always have to sexualize things. And like that's actually, you know, that's actually a critique of our society and character in that we have to sexualize everything.
No, that's
And that
true.
we can't just see genuine relationships and friendships and have them be intimate and endearing without sex. We have to place that other thing on it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I can see definitely like maybe Hachi being,
Hachi is bisexual.
is bisexual. Yeah, like I can see that for sure. But like I've been frustrated with that too, or like, yeah, why can't people? It's like, no, that's true. I mean, I enjoy being a hypersexual myself, but I also understand that people can just hang out.
You being hypersexual doesn't mean that it's society.
I know that. I'm
Those
just
are
saying.
different. You know, but that's my like. Those are different things.
Yeah, like people can just hang out, my man. Like they can just be friends,
Right.
and it's fine.
And it's fine.
But that's also, I mean, isn't this kind of where we sort of get the maybe this isn't it, but like, isn't this kind of where like ace erasure comes into play, where people just being like, no, you can't not be nothing. You have to be something.
See, that's part of it does, but it also depends. I think I think that also comes that falls into like a hypersensitivity of over identification.
Okay, because I'm like, you can tell me I'm reaching. Just tell
Well,
me I'm
I
reaching
mean,
here.
I guess I said it the long way, but I think it would depend on where's the point of, you know what I mean? Like, yes and no, because like that depends on what's being said. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like that's circumstantial and you know what I mean? Like it would have to be defined in order for it to be that, and it would be a specific like comment or context.
Right,
and not like
right.
the broad, you know. But yes, it does move in that way of some of it comes from like a hope, from a lack of, you know, I can understand more of that desire of like the nanas and being in a relationship that's maybe closeted, you know, through that fourth wall or whatever. Back in like the early 2000s because of the lack of representation. And so that I could see, but I can't see it as much now today.
No,
because there is more representation today.
There is, but you know, I know this started a long time ago, where you know the desperation to see any kind of representation.
That's what I mean, though. That's what I mean. And the fantasy is allowed.
Yeah.
But like you can't you can have your own like ideas of a story, and that's valid, and I respect that and I understand that, but you also can't project that story arc for other people to have to accept it, which is something I saw probably about 5 to 7 years ago. Within this story.
Within the story. Yeah, no,
yeah. But that also went along with a lot of the narrative of that time, you know, where in the queer community, like, especially like in our circles, it was very much like, well, everybody is and you have to be.
Yes.
Right? And that was that same time period. So that was like the conversation at the time. And like that was also very hypersexualized. You know what I mean? Like people who were ace weren't really accepted because it was like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't be.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like,
I
you
agree.
know.
It's yeah.
So like
It's
we've come a long way, but like it's the continued projection for me.
oh yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Because
And
it
what
just
story
doesn't
are they
stop.
reading?
I don't know. People make up things in their heads all the time.
Which is fine too, and that could be a canon. But like we've got this idea now where it's like this is my head canon, but it's what happened.
You tell yourself something long enough, it becomes real, I
I suppose
guess.
so, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's like
it's
I
all I
don't know,
can think of.
I feel like Yazua tells stories so well that you don't have to read between the lines.
Yeah, no, mm-mm. It's all it's pretty
Like
clear.
that one comment where like with the Takumi situation that happens later, like she's really
Mhm.
fucking honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I think maybe they've never encountered a story like this before where everything is just laid bare and they're looking for secret hidden trap doors like, oh,
Right.
where's the pitfall, or are all men bad, men who are cucumbers or perceived cucumbers are
Yeah.
bad. I see a lot of that. And we are finished. I promise we are finished here. um Thank you guys so much for being here for this very particular episode of Nanopod. Um, this is going to be a weekly occurrence, I think, where Kirsten and I sort of read the comments and kind of go through them and give our hot takes. Now, they're probably going to be a little spicy, so if that's not really your thing, feel free to skip over these sections and move on to more of the main story ones. However, if it is your thing, um, go ahead and listen away. Just be warned that we're probably going to be incredibly critical of some of the things that we read. And what you need to understand is that it is because Kirsten and myself have spent so much time with this manga and just kind of being fans in general. And we did grow up in a different time. We were young women when this was being published. So we grew up with the characters. And that does kind of take our brains to where we currently are today with it. So if you are, new to the Nana fandom and you happen to be, younger, we apologize if this sounds like we're attacking you. But realistically, all it is that we have been with this fandom, or I should say, we have been with this particular bit of writing for so long that we kind of know it inside and out. So, take these criticisms with a grain of salt if it bothers you. Sorry about that. So, anyway, that is all that I have. Follow us on our Instagram at apartment707_. There's a link tree. It's got all of our stuff. You can email us through there. You can follow the Tumblr. It also has links to all of our socials as well. So again, thank you guys so much for putting up with us, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye.